Yesterday, we showed you the traditional meal that is prepared during Passover, and this morning, we're learning how to make a popular dish. It's called charoset. Did I say that right?
Beautiful. Very throat clearing. Very nice.
Good job. All right.
Very good.
Rochel Hayman is here with us this morning from the Arizona Jewish Russian programs, and you're going to show us how to make it. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me. So as I say, Passover is all about the significance of every little thing. We have a Seder on the first 2 nights of Passover. Seder means order, and it doesn't mean nice and neat, it means steps. And there's 15 steps in the Seder, and it's all in a book. And each of the steps are significant, and each of the steps introduce another piece, and some of them are very weird, so to encourage questions.
You want the kids, particularly,
right,
to ask questions.
If you have a 3,321-year-old story, it can get to be a little bit dry if you don't do something like a multisensory experience. So we not only talk about the story, we ingest the story. So this is as we have a Seder plate, which is one of the props that is used for the Seder, and all of the different pieces are significant. Now, most of these you can just put out, but this particular one, charoset, is one that we make. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the basic recipe, and then you can go ahead and do it in different ways.
Okay.
Right, so first, what you do is you put in a cup of pears.
Okay. Pears. Okay.
First is pears, and then a cup of apples. After the apples, and if you want, you can go ahead and start to stir here.
Okay.
And then you throw in nuts.
And we should mention Passover is so significant because it's when the Jews left Egypt, right?
It's all about the emancipation of the Israelites from this slavery in Egypt, which lasted over 200 years. Then once you have that, then you put in a half a cup of sweet wine.
Okay.
Also, one of the significant steps at the Seder, throughout the Seder, we drink 4 cups of wine, which is talking about significance of the 4 levels of redemption for leaving Egypt. Okay. So now, as you can see, this is good and okay. This is actually something that maybe the next day you could have in your yogurt.
I was curious how you eat this. I mean,
Right. It's significant of the bricks and mortar that they built in Egypt. Now, if you can have it as something like this, which is a little bit more chunky, you can put in the food processor. Now, this actually looks a little bit more like mortar. So you can have that. Now, there's other things. If there's problems with nuts in the family, you can use desiccated coconut.
Okay.
You can put in raisins. Some people put in dried apricots, nutmeg, and cinnamon.
And what I find really interesting about this in particular, you talk about the brick and mortar, and it really is significant of what was used to build the pyramid. It's pyramids because the Jews, they were slaves back then, and they built the pyramids.
Right. And different other cities and everything with that. It was very degrading labor. So what happens also is that we have matzah. Now, this is a special kind of matzah. It's called shmura matzah, which means watched. And it means that there was, once the growing process had started, there was no extra moisture so that anything could leaven. On Passover, we stay away from everything that's leavened. Okay? And this one is watched. And in fact, much of there's fields in Yuma, Arizona, which are special starting from about this time of year for next year's harvest. Okay?
So we should mention that Passover starts tomorrow night, and then there's also a dinner on Saturday night.
Right. So there's a Seder on Friday night and Saturday night. There's Seders throughout the nation and throughout the city. So you can call Chabad at 602-944-2753. The Jewish War Veterans is having a Seder at the State Veterans Home for veterans. And that number is 602-218-0353.
Well, my church, a Christian church, we're having a Passover feast tonight as well. And this is on the menu, and I had no idea what it is. And I'm so glad that you're here too.
You're going to practice that
and I'll have to learn how to say it as well. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll be right back with more Good Morning Arizona.